all family here, no matter how small.
Dumbo is back on the big screen this weekend. The Disney classic first hit theaters back in 1941. Now director Tim Burton is reimagining the flying elephant flick in his live-action remake. Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, Eva Green, Michael Keaton, the list goes on. But will audiences in 2019 believe that an elephant can fly? Let's turn to our man at the movies, Eli. Now, baby elephants are cute.
Yes,
we know that, undeniably so. How's this one?
Real baby elephants, CGI baby elephants. Well, okay, let's go back to the original 1941 Dumbo. Now, it hasn't aged perfectly. There are elements that we would say are problematic, but at its heart, good old Walt, he wasn't afraid to just scar a generation of children. I mean, the sorrow as the little baby ripped away from the mother. And so who better to bring this back to life than the Dark Prince of Gloom himself, Tim Burton? But here's the problem. If you remember the original Dumbo, only 64 minutes. So you got to flesh this out. So how are you going to do that? Well, they hire a screenwriter who has done 3 Transformer films, 2 Ring films, the Ben Affleck movie Reindeer Games, and more. So I'm gonna mute those alarm bells that I can hear in the distance and describe the plot. So here we are, 1919, Sarasota, Florida, in the struggling Mariachi circus run by Danny DeVito himself, playing Max. The owner, Colin Farrell, as you mentioned, a war vet, comes back home to see his 2 children. There they are. He lost his arm. They lost their mother to illness. He's demoted to taking care of elephants. Good news is there's a mama elephant, a new baby elephant. He's born, and there he is, ridiculous looking ears. So the 2 kids are going to try and teach him to blow his ears out of the way so he's not tripping all over the place. Let's take a closer look.
Baby Jumbo, look at me. Do what I do. Blow. No, not the feather. Your ears. Blow. He thinks it's a game. Let me have a turn.
There you go. The answer to the circus's prayers, a levitating pachyderm, word spreads, and then V.A. Vandermeer. You mentioned Michael Keaton. He's kind of a P.T. Barnum type character, so he shows up to make a deal with Max, the owner, played by DeVito. Keaton and DeVito. Got to share a bit of that. So take a look as the circus owners trying to do a little entertaining, but there's an extra occupant. Let's say that. Take a look.
I would like to offer you a drink, but all out of bourbon, and cognac and scotch. Not now.
Is that a monkey in your desk?
Just for emergencies.
Just masterclass in deadpan. Love that. So there you go. Dumbo and Dad and Sudo are preparing to head off to a new and improved, much larger, flashier circus, and also to try and reunite that little guy with his mother, who's now, of course, locked away as Mad Elephant.
Is that a monkey in your desk?
Yeah.
I love it. But the rest of the movie, the original classic loved, and baby elephants we've already decided in real life are lovely. How does this work out?
So you know those automatons you see at some of the Disney theme parks? These incredibly...
Like the Hall of the Presidents?
Exactly. So incredibly lifelike recreations, all these kind of moving parts, very detailed. That's this movie, right? An amazing, reanimated, familiar set of characters, but somewhat hollow inside. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It has that Dust Bowl chic, the peeling paint, the faded colors, the sun perpetually setting or rising, the 2 children, the bright girl who wants to be a scientist, the boy who just wants to please Dad. They've been run through that Tim Burton gloomatron, so they have the pale skin, the big eyes, the high forehead, and then there's Colin Farrell playing the cowboy character whose accent is southern by way of Dublin, and then Michael Keaton shows up to play Vandermeer, but no one gave him the sad, strange memo, so he can't decide if he's a carny or Daddy Warbucks. Now, the screenwriter, known for classics like Transformers, Dark of the Moon, comes from the Tell, Don't Show school of screenwriting, so you get dialogue like, no one wants to be alone, and Mother wouldn't do that. And eventually we get to the climax where the circus folk band together Ocean 11 style to try and pull off a heist in a totally artificial moment.
Okay, we're forgetting the big star, or the
Yeah.
not so big little star, the elephant himself. How does the elephant do?
So he's got these big blue eyes. He makes these little squeaking sounds like a dolphin. He is computer animated, and I didn't really believe it for a moment. I mean, let's take a look at the original Dumbo. I mean, let's talk about elephant ears. The ears were like a star of themselves, right? The ears were a character. The ears were these amazing appendages. They would shelter him. They would grab objects. And so that's part of the magic that brought Dumbo to life. In the new movie, they're just these extra flaps of skin hanging there. And then, of course, he takes to the sky, and it looks like a flying elephant. So it looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, the original movie worked because it was a cartoon, so you could make allowances. There was artistic license. But in a film straining for realism, well, a flying elephant just looks kind of ridiculous. Looks kind of strange.
Yeah,
It doesn't quite work.
The ears kind of look like warm lettuce. Okay, so why would Disney take this risk with the high-profile cast? And obviously, it wasn't cheap to make this.
I think they've been listening to Scrooge McDuck. Money, 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 right? I mean, this is just an easy bet for them. And what irks me, and irk is an understatement, is that Disney is now the largest, most powerful movie studio in the world, right? It just finished gobbling up 21st Century Fox. I mean, how long before I have to watch Kevin Hart as Sebastian the Lobster singing Under the Sea? I fear not too long, but the problem is, instead of risking millions on telling us something new, on giving us fresh moments of wonderment and awe and astonishment, the best you can hope for in a movie like this is just moments of recognition. Oh, look, there's that thing. Oh, look, they did that. And so you get a moment where it's like the drunk elephants, the pink elephants on parade, where it's there, and it's kind of awkward, and it's kind of forced, and you don't really understand why you're watching it, much like this movie itself. 2 stars out of 5.
2 out of 5.
I mean, I know I sound like the cinematic Grinch, but go watch the original and talk to your children about the original and deal with the original. It still has an amazing power. I want to get off the nostalgia train. I want new.
Okay, I can't wait for the Scrooge McDuck reboot. Eli Glasner, thanks so much.